Hey guys, we're going to do a binding scenario on how to bind a Spektrum AR7000 and satellite with a DX7SE transmitter. Okay, so first things first, we need to have 5-volt supply. Either use your ESC or use a power supply like I have. I've got 12 volts on this side and 5 volts on this side. So I've got a 5-volt feed. I'm using an old servo wire, and I'll take everything out so you can see how it all goes. Okay, so we've got our satellite all connected up to the receiver. You get your the bind lead, and you place that on the bottom here on these little pins at the bottom right there. Like so. Now when you put your lead in for supplying power, as I said, it was 5 volts, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that it's orientated the correct way. And if you have a look on the side here, it's got negative on the bottom rail, positive on the middle rail, and signal on the top rail. As you can see, there's 3 lines of wires there, of pins. So the bottom rail is all negative, the middle rail is all positive, and the top rail is all signal, which is normally your orange wire. So red's positive, and we've got brown is earth. Okay, so we'll plug this into any one of these ports here. Right, it's all hooked up. Okay, so what we need to do now is hook up our power connection. So we've got the earth, which is brown, and we've got our positive, which is red. And we'll make sure they don't connect together. So what we want to do now, so this has never been bound before, so make sure you've got a configuration on your transmitter that hasn't been configured yet. I've got one that's set up there as model 1 now. It's had all the data deleted out of it, and we're going to use this servo as a test later on. Just an Aeolian AE09, which is a nice, cheap and nasty one, but anyway, it does the job. So I'll use that for testing later. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the battery off, leave the transmitter off for now, and we're going to power this unit up, and it should start flashing quite fast, like a red flashing signal. So we'll just turn it on, and there we go, both those units are flashing. So that's basically in bind mode, ready to bind. Okay, that's seriously fast flashing going on. Right, so you know you've done something right if you've got to that stage. Alright, if it's not, if the bind button or something's disconnected, it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference in this case. But anyway, so what we do now is on the back of the transmitter here, there's a bind button, so hold that down and keep it pressed down, and make sure you've got this in the bottom mode, because on the AR7000 it's got a fail-safe mode, so if all else fails it will go to the setting whichever you set now. Okay, so we'll keep holding that bind button in the back, and we'll power it up. Okay, that's bound now, so I'll take my finger off the back, and now I will leave the transmitter on, remove the bind plug, and then do the same way as you would do it with a helicopter or a plane or whatever you're using. You always power the receiver off first, and then we'll power down. So now when we power it back on again, we do exactly the way you'd normally set it up on a model. So you turn the transmitter on, and then you power up your receiver. Never the other way around, because the receiver will not have any idea of what it's supposed to connect to, and it'll go to half throttle or full throttle or something silly like that. Okay, so now we'll just power it up again, and that's it, connected. So yeah, so that's it, all sorted out. So I'll just plug it in one of the servos and see if I can get this to work on, let's just say, we'll try the rudder channel. So we've got the signal always goes to the top. I'll power it down first, turn it off, we'll plug it into the rudder channel, power the transmitter on, then the receiver, and we'll see if we've got rudder control. Yes. Okay, so that's working fine. So that's how you bind it. Alright, well that's Westy over and out, and thanks for watching.